None of that same mundane terrain. The fast lane gets blurry, interestingly disturbing. The demons, they're lurking. I'm particularly worthy, so they always show up early when that road gets curvy. They hurt me, but I'm burly, so I surely keep on lurking. What's down below? 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 Yeah. It's rainbows, it's Cloud9 cause I say so. No good book, no halos, jungle gyms and no Play-Doh. Brass ones they hang low, I might be insane though. Everybody's shady and we've all got an angle. Yeah. Everybody's shady and we've all got an angle. Yeah. Same mundane terrain. None of that 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 same mundane terrain. I'm as lost as a child, having no one to take me to the only place I need to go. And it's California, and I'm almost home, but I can't seem to find my way. Monterey, where I need to go. I've been worked like a dog, wearing holes in my pockets, and I've never had something to show. So I look to the sunset, and I move to the sea, but the sun went down and I couldn't find Monterey for
soccer match at Vikings Field, Big 8 conference action. Today's matchup pits the visiting Falcons of Folsom Lake College against your DVC Vikings. The Vikings are 3-7-3 on the season, having drawn powerhouse San Joaquin Delta last time they took this field. The Falcons enter play at 11-1-2, coming off their first loss of the season last Friday at Santa Rosa. Without any further ado, here are today's starting lineups. First for the visiting Falcons, coached by Donnie Roboto, assisted by Pat Powers. First the captain, a sophomore midfielder out of Laguna Creek, number 11, Kamaya Yazzie. The rest of the Folsom starters, a freshman goalkeeper out of Laguna Creek, number 30, Celeste Craighead. A sophomore defender out of Kit Carson Academy, number 2, Andrea Hernandez. A freshman forward out of Galt, number 4, Marin Rogers. A freshman forward out of St. Francis, number 5, Takori Abro. A freshman forward out of Chico, number 8, Rachel George. A sophomore midfielder out of Pleasant Grove, number 14, Layla Hadid. A freshman midfielder out of Antelope, number 20, Kylie Diome. A sophomore defender out of Rockland, number 21, Katie Scherson. A sophomore defender out of IR Academy via San Jose State, number 23, Hope Northrup. And a freshman midfielder out of Folsom High, number 34, Maddie Stroh. And now for your DVC Vikings, coached by Colleen Mullins, assisted by Sam Lubasic, Tino Takuba, Marjan Hayderi, and Alicia Palma. First, the captains, a sophomore midfielder out of Clayton Valley Charter, number 10, Casey Trujillo. And on the bench, but ever in our hearts, number 5, Lily Underwood. The rest of your starters for the green and white, a sophomore goalkeeper out of John Sweat, number 0, Denise Correa. A sophomore forward and defender out of Dianza High, number 3, Cristabel Rodas. A freshman midfielder out of Cal Prep, number 6, Diana Ruiz. A sophomore forward out of Concord, number 7, Sofia Lopez Real. A freshman forward and defender out of Las Lomas, number 8, Mila Ninkovic. A sophomore forward out of Northgate, number 9, Suhani Singh. A sophomore midfielder out of San Ramon Valley, number 13, Sierra Rosemont. A sophomore forward and midfielder out of Mount Diablo, number 17, Carol Esquivias. A sophomore midfielder forward out of St. Pat St. Vincent, number 23, Ella DiChoco. And a freshman midfielder out of Doherty Valley, number 24, Maila Hicks. Today's officials are Cecilia Chavez in the center, assisted by Tom Kendig on the player bench sideline, and Andres Cabeluaga Rondon on the spectator stand sideline. We ask that you please remove your hats now as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Through the left side, base hit! Downing is in to score! And DVC walk it off!
That's high step. He looks down the middle of the field. He's going to throw the goal route. Has a man in the middle. Intercepted! Intercepted, taking it down the far sideline. He steps out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. And that's how you cap the game up.
Sierra Smith quickly worked around, feeding the hot hand. Jasmine got it! 3 threes for number 23.
Who finds Edwards? Edwards needs to get the shot up. Pulls up a deep 3. Able to knock it down!
The counter-attack. Here comes Carla Ramos forward looking for Noelle Lemus. She's gotten by the last defender. Valentine comes down. Noelle drills the keeper. Lemus! Lemus! And that is a DVC victory. And the Vikings are champions of California! And welcome, faithful followers of the Green and White, to coverage of women's soccer on DVC Vikings Live. I'm your host, Joe Hickey, ready to bring you today's home match at Vikings Field between Colleen Mullen's Green and White and Donnie Robato's defending state champions, the Falcons of Folsom Lake College. The title holders are going to be coming in a little bad. They suffered their first defeat since last November against Santa Rosa Junior College on Friday. Goals traded in the opening 6 minutes of the game, as the Bear Cubs then responded with a game winner at the half-hour mark, conquering Folsom's home field for the second time on the trot. They were the last team that had beaten Folsom Lake before the Falcons ripped off a 6-match unbeaten run that took them to state supremacy last year. Meanwhile, last week was about as encouraging for the Vikings as a week in which you don't win and don't score possibly can be. First, they maintained their undefeated record at home against Delta with a clean sheet, courtesy of 18 Denise Correa saves and a collected defensive effort to make as many of those shots as possible desperate and docile. And while the result didn't go DVC's way on Friday and the score line even looks a touch ugly, the Viking staff were heartened by the fact that they made Cosumnes River earn every one of those tallies. At most, one could be chalked up to a little bit of poor marking, but DVC are not giving up the kinds of goals they were conceding during that 4-match skid that they broke a week ago today. With that, I turn to my partner, Jay Gima, to reminisce and get geared up. Another tough adversary coming into the Vike. Jay, what did DVC do so well against Delta last week, and what do they need to do to keep their home record unblemished today?
Well, I mean, they started out great last game, and they just need to, as the game starts here, they just need to come out hard here, not get flustered by some good soccer, and stay composed, really. This is going to be a tough matchup.
And unfortunately here, did it again, hit the wrong macro to start off, so our scoreboard clock is going to be a little bit behind as we go. We'll give you the graphic in a little bit when we have a moment of pause, but for the Vikings, it is Correa in goal, and one change from the formation from Friday as Folsom Lake attack right to left across your YouTube screen here in the gray road kits. DVC take this away. We'll get you their lineup in a second as Esquivias loses out here in a one-on-one challenge at the near sideline. Ball worked over to the left side for the 14, Layla Hadid, and taken right back by Cuddle. Continuing to get stuck in, Mila Ninkovic on it, and she'll look for the outlet behind Maila Hicks forward, but not able to be kept in by the head of Esquivias. We'll take the moment right here, as a matter of fact, to show you what we've got. The Viking starters, Correa in goal. It's going to be the usual defense of Rodas, Hicks, Correa, and Ninkovic. You've got Diana Ruiz in the starting lineup. That is the one change from what we saw 4 days ago at Cosumnes River. For Folsom Lake, if positions are to be on the roster are to be believed, it's a 3-4-3. We'll see about that. Hernandez, Scherson, and Northrup that would be the defenders. Yazzie, Hadid, Diome, Stroh, your midfielders. Rogers, Abril, and George, your forwards. All of that, of course, in front of Celeste Craighead, making her 5th start. A day today, Jay, of squad rotation for a large part. Feels appropriate on a Tuesday. We've been watching some Champions League. Only 4 standard starters in the lineup for Coach Roboto.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're coming in trying to get some experience for the other players against this DVC squad who's suffered some injuries past couple of weeks and some squad rotation. So it'll be a very interesting match as we see, you know, some early shoving going on.
Yeah, no doubt. Suhani Singh hitting the deck. Jay mentioned the short roster. Just 3 subs available to Coach Mullins. Rubel, Walden, and Alina Rodriguez. So the Vikings are going to play some big minutes against a squad that is roughly twice their size. And I don't mean that by the women on the field. I just mean the sheer quantity of people available here today. The main starters, Hernandez and Northrup, as we said, usually starters in the defense. Diome and Stroh, typically starters in the midfield. All the forwards are players who don't start a ton, and in fact, specifically, Marin Rogers, the 4, is getting her first collegiate start today. She's the one trying to put pressure right now on Ella DeChoco. Ball popped up here in the midfield. Casey Trujillo getting stuck in off of her chest, coming over here to Layla Hadid. Now, one of the things we did notice in the beginning, Jay, was the absence of a big player for Folsom Lake, the number 12, Taya Reyes. And what did you learn about Taya just a moment ago?
So just a moment ago, she came over to our table here. Something happened with her face. She's icing her face right now, but she is for now off the bench. Their leading goal scorer, as you mentioned, with 11 goals.
And comes in as the returning leading goal scorer as well, with 12 and 12 assists last season in that state championship run. You get a sense of the trust that Donnie Roboto has in her. That's somebody who, as a freshman, was tasked with taking the penalty kick in the 16th minute of the state final. So you get a really good sense of the quality the sophomore out of Ponderosa brings. Unavailable at the start here as Folsom Lake continue to possess in the Vikings half.
Something to note is that their kind of point of attack defender and Hope Northrop for Folsom is going to be sharing the defensive task guarding Suhani Singh with their number 2, Andrea Hernandez. So something to see as the game progresses.
And Northrop a bounce back from San Jose State. And so that'll be an interesting matchup to watch here as Diome takes the ball away. The leading assist woman currently is Esquivias with the slide to try to get that away and puts enough pressure right there on Hadid to earn the Vikings a throw-in. Cecilia Chavez in the orange over black and black, your center official, as the refereeing crew dressed in full-on spooky season right now with the Halloween colors.
And you're going to see early as Lily Diome here, they're going to focus more on the left, get the ball in her hands. She's their playmaker, as Joe mentioned here, they're 9 assists, so they're going to look to her to facilitate and try and get a goal in.
And there's a closure of Rosemont and a teammate, but unable to take the ball off of the 11, Yazzie, the captain today. However, the second line does do so there. Hicks, and a nice one-touch there by Rosemont, almost to free Esquivias, as the Vikings will likely be stuck with a decent bit of counterattack today. They're going to be looking to bend, not break, against one of the best teams in the state of California.
Yeah, and you see just how composed each of their players are for Folsom as they get the ball in.
That's Maddie Stroh, one of the typical starters, out to the right side for Abril. Taken away for a moment by DeChoco, who stepped up. It's now going to be Abril on the far right side. It is Katie Scherson and Hope Northrop, the two standard, or rather, Scherson's not a standard starter, my mistake. Scherson is the left back here. Northrop, as Jay mentioned, the center back tasked with dealing with Singh, as we get a sense of how Donnie Roboto is splaying out his 11 today. Here's a shot from distance that is going to go well wide. That one coming from a solid 30 yards out. That might have been Takori Abril on the shot there. No numbers on the front of the Folsom Lake jersey, so a little tough to tell, and the numbers on the back even leave a little bit to be desired for a commentator. Teal on gray is not my favorite, but we'll live.
Especially in that font.
Yeah, it's quite something. It's got lines through the middle of it. It's got a gradient. There's a...
It looks good on their warm-up jerseys, but...
Yeah, the warm-ups are delightful. They've got a teal and black checkerboard. I'm a big fan of that. Look like perhaps a discarded away kit for Croatia maybe back in the day. I'm in full favor. I've got a couple Croatia kits. And I'm Irish and German. It has nothing to do with my heritage. Good designs, man. You got to love them. Ball worked over to the right side here. Ninkovic knocks it down. Forward for Esquivias. Little pocket of space for her. Gives it to Rosemont, trying for the one-touch, as she was swept under by the number 11, Yazzie.
Something to note as a player who you know, I've watched this team for years and I've trained with them, and Coach Mullins always likes for her players to scan before they pass. And right now we're just kind of getting the first pass option. Something the players need to do, especially in the midfield, is to get the ball, see their options really quickly, and do the option that isn't predictable. Right now we're playing a lot of predictable soccer last week and this week, so we need to change it up a little bit early on here.
Yeah, certainly when you're taking the first option, it's whatever Folsom decides to give you, and they're probably giving you that for a reason.
Very true.
Ball into the center here. It is Hope Northrop working her way through the center circle. Ball to the left side, not handleable for Layla Hadid at this near sideline, who appears to be your left side midfielder. We're seeing the freshly minted starter Rogers right now putting on pressure. She seems to be your left side striker, working alongside Abril. Over to the left now, and a cross coming in, well struck with the inside of the boot by Hadid, but straight to Correa on a couple of bounces. Last time we were here on DVC Vikings Live with the video feed, and last time you were here, Denise Correa put on an absolute show, Jay.
Yes, I mean, she probably had at least 10-15 saves in the first half, if I recollect. She was really leading that defensive line, you know, making sure Delta didn't sneak any in, and she was definitely player of the game for me last week.
Oh, no doubt. And the decision we made after that one is that from now on, we're not calling her a converted midfielder anymore. I'm sorry, you make an 18-save clean sheet against San Joaquin Delta. You are a goalkeeper with a capital G.
Definitely. I mean, I think I was listening to the broadcast last week, and I think that's the first time we've had a draw or just a winning record against Delta at home, you know, since you've been here in 2017.
Yeah, it's been a long, long while. I've been doing the broadcast since 14, and all the success came early on in my tenure. The only victory was a playoff win back in 2016 that sent the Vikings to the Final Four. And that was actually the first year that Folsom, back in 2016, were a member of this Big 8 conference. And that year, DVC and Folsom, today they're on kind of slightly different ends of the table, but that season they tied atop the Big 8, the first championships of the conference for both of them, as Folsom were a debutante, having come over from the Bay Valley and turning the Big 8 into a numerical Y.
Yeah, and just something I wish we had instant replay, but, you know, we saw Diana Ruiz got to interception there a little bit, but just misplaced it. Something that DVC will look to capitalize on, because Folsom, just like Delta, they don't make too many mistakes in Columbus River. So capitalizing on those mistakes and getting those counterattacks is going to be our way to get possession flowing here and capitalizing on that possession too.
And right on cue, Ruiz getting onto another ball, unable to hold on to it, but she and Sofia Lopez Real trying to pin a Folsom Lake midfielder to the sideline, force an errant pass. Esquivias will poke this one forward, unable to handle, ball over the top of the head of the 14, Hadid. Here's Ninkovic making good use of her strength, and she's going to take that ball right off the 14, slide it forward for Suhani Singh. Approval from the sideline here, and I think you can hear that through our field mic. Colleen Mullins liking what she saw out of that as DVC looked to build their first attack here.
There you go, being patient. She waited for Suhani to show and didn't capitalize there, but good things showing.
And there's Casey Trujillo taking a ball away, trying to work her way through two defenders, and Folsom do clean it up at the back as Singh was making her run. This one met in the back line by DeChoco. Up ahead now, Rosemont. She goes to ground, and that's your first foul of today's action. So we've had one foul, one shot, no shots on goal or corners so far, but the day is young. Just 10 minutes gone here from Pleasant Hill. We're glad you're here with us. We appreciate you joining us, and that goes for both those watching along and also for Jay. Delighted to have you back here in the booth.
Definitely. I mean, you know, I had a good time last time. You know, glad I can come back and shake some of my nerves away as I'm trying to talk.
We're getting there. Hicks takes that away, and that'll be a throw-in coming up in the attacking third. So one shot, one foul so far for Folsom Lake. That's the extent of your statistics. I was about to say here, as we were talking about 2016, that first year that Folsom was in the conference, the Vikings and Falcons played a pair of nil draws. Early on, the series was very, very even. So that one goes over, or rather a offside flag up from the man all the way across the field. That is Andres Cameluaga Rondon, which, just in case you're asking yourself, yes, I practiced. I take my job seriously. But the 2-0 draws in 2016, they split the Big 8 title. They both went to the Final Four. They were both beaten by Cerritos. DVC claiming the only advantage on that because Cerritos needed extra time to beat them. And they kept them scoreless up until that point. Folsom lost 3-2 in the semifinal to the eventual 5-time-in-a-row champions of the state of California. Since then, they had a pair of 2-1 games split the following season. Vikings winning here when Folsom were ranked #1 in the nation. That on a delightful Halloween when I was dressed like Wolverine. Here's a good touch over to the right side here, and Folsom at full flight. Ball squared up here for the number 4, the first-time starter, Rogers, and that is played out. It'll be the day's first corner kick, but good work by DVC just to avoid conceding a real shot there.
Yes, I mean, you know, they were beat. Good job by the defense. I don't remember who got that tackle in, but great job saving a goal there. I mean, that was bottom of the net.
Well, DeChoco and Hicks have both had to pull themselves back. Both of them started the season as attacking mids and are now your center back pair, but they've done good work. Generally speaking, the Vikings had their trouble on the wings in the game against Cosumnes River. That was where 3 of the 4 goals were scored from. And even the last one was created from there as this ball's cleared away. Pops off of Singh and a defender. Last touched by the woman in gray. And it's going to be a DVC throw here. We mentioned those first 2 years, though. Heady stuff between the Vikes and the Falcons. Since then, it's been tough sledding. 0-9-1 the Vikings have been against Folsom since then. 2 losses in the Big 8 tourney. One of them in the Vikings' last playoff match back in 2018. Last positive result, a 1-1 draw in Pleasant Hill back in 2019, as that is tackled away. Vikings earning a throw there. Was that Rosemont on the slide tackle?
Mm-hmm.
Statistically, if it's a slide tackle, it's probably Rosemont.
I mean, last week we did see, I believe it was Cristobal getting in and getting a few slide tackles in last Tuesday.
That is true. You even remarked at the time. It's not something we're accustomed to seeing a ton of out of a DVC Vikings team, but this club's got a few folks that love to mix it up.
Definitely.
Ball worked back here and cleared by DeChoco. Knocked down by the Falcons as they'll look to build again. Ninkovic trying to pin her to the sideline. Good touch in the middle by Yazzie, and that's going to come free to the 5, Abril. Abril sliding a ball in towards the center. Rogers gets onto it, cuts it onto her left, fires, and will score today's first goal here in minute number 14.
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell by the past couple plays, trying to get it to her, crosses in from the side, and good shot by Rogers.
Indeed, that's her 6th goal of the season. As we mentioned, by and large, a player that's been getting them off the bench this year. As I am searching for where the little thing to edit the score is. Sorry about that, Folsom Lake fans that might be tuning in. 1-0, Falcons on top, and we're going to let the folks know.
Folsom Lake goal in minute number 14 off the boot of number 4, Marin Rogers. Her 6th of the season. Folsom Lake 1, DVC 0.
Vikings now in search of a response. But nice work there, particularly by Rogers, to be calm in that moment. I think one of the things that that you don't see a ton of for some of the lower-lying teams in the 3C2A or in the Big 8 is the ability to just keep your wits about you inside the box as defenders fly at you. And that was a very calm cut. Certainly somebody who doesn't look like they're starting for the first time as a collegian.
Definitely. I mean, it was calm, cool, and collected shot. She knew she was going to get the ball eventually in there, and another attack up here. All right.
Ball taken away here and a foul whistled, and it's going to be a free kick. A bit late on that call as the ball was trickling away, but it'll be the first foul whistled against the green and white. And a free kick here from the left side. It'll be Maddie Stroh to put this in, the freshman midfielder out of Folsom High. She's coming off of scoring her 3rd goal of the season in the matchup with Santa Rosa. That the only goal that Folsom Lake managed in their first loss of 2024.
Look to get this ball away here.
3 in the wall. Trujillo's been the one to get a lot of these away in the past. I'm kind of surprised to see her there. They're going to square it up. Little something off the training ground and a rip from the 23, Hope Northrup. And the San Jose State bounce back very nearly tucked that one in at the top left corner. Wasn't going to be anything that Correa could do about that if it had been on target, Jay.
No, I mean, that was a power shot. She had all the time in the world, and the defense wasn't expecting that. And just a little bit down, a little bit to the right maybe, and that was bottoms.
Yeah, it was a little something off the training ground right there. So DVC conceding here at home, just the 3rd goal they've given up in this 5th match on the grass here at Pleasant Hill. DVC, for all their struggles this year, undefeated at Vikings Field to this point as Hicks and Rogers go tumbling. All fine for Cecilia Chavez. We play on. Worked into the center for Diome. Taken away at the left wing there by Sofia Lopez Real for a moment. Now recovered by Rachel George, working her way up the right towards the corner flag. Loses her footing, hits the deck. The ball's out. Last touch by Black.
Yeah, I think we've seen a few slips here, so careful for both sides on the field.
Yeah, always a tough thing during warm-ups, diagnosing exactly. Here at this level, it's not like you have a bunch of pairs of shoes, but you're always wondering, like, are my spikes going to work for the conditions I have here today? That ball played away by Hicks. That is going to slice off of her foot and go out for the 2nd corner kick today for Folsom. They created some real danger off the first one.
Yeah, just that's an unfortunate play right there. You know, hopefully get it away like the first, or the last corner kick, I should say, in the last free kick opportunity.
That's right. I shouldn't say the last corner. It was the last dead ball that was the issue there. You're right. It was almost from the same spot. I think I respond to which direction my neck is craning. And so I'm sitting here thinking that was a corner as well. This ball floated into the 18. That's going to go off the head. We're not going to find out of whom because it's kept in play here by Hope Northrup. Gets it onto her left, puts in a cross. That is headed over the top just barely by the Folsom Lake attacker. Might have been Rachel George in there, the 8. But either way, over the top, it is shot number 4 for the Falcons, but it does not find the frame. Substitution time here, and we'll let the people know.
Into the game for Folsom Lake, number 6, Destin Armstrong.
Of course, we're going to have a little more of that to do with the Falcons than we have with the DVC Vikings, and all we can do really is laugh about it because it's
pain.
It is almost an issue. Yeah, it's almost always a bit of an issue here. The numbers often start out a little on the small side and then dwindle as we go. Marina Ognian out for the year with a broken clavicle. Lily Underwood, of course, out for the season with the ACL tear. DVC were dealing without Alina Rodriguez in the last game as she was nursing an injury to, I believe, her right knee. Miki Miyazaki continues to miss time due to an ankle injury she suffered against Modesto.
Good turn.
This ball popped over the top here in search of the 8, Rachel George, who switched sides after the insertion of Destin Armstrong, which has me wondering if the 6 is all the way over at the right side after coming in. She seems to be actually the right back at the moment.
And just to wish we had some replay again, but that was a good turn by number 11, Kamaya Yazi there, just getting away from the defense. And she's kind of there. She's been getting some good plays in early on here, so look out for her the rest of the game as well. Yeah,
certainly a sophomore leader out of Laguna Creek. Started 15 games last year and scored 7 goals for the title winners. So far this year, 2 goals and an assist. All but the second goal of that coming against Sacramento City a couple of weeks ago in a 13-0 drubbing.
Drubbing, that's a new word. I've never heard that word before, Joe.
It can be useful sometimes. Those happen when the top of the table and the bottom of the table meet up. DVC certainly trying to avoid that. They have played some of these top teams very tough so far this season. 2-1 the result out in Modesto against a team that had just 1 loss to that point. And, of course, the big result against Delta last Friday. Bit of an interruption to that trend, the 4-0 defeat at the hands of CRC. But one heck of a game authored by Cesar Plasencia's women in that one as the ball is popped over the top and right out comes Denise Correa to claim it. DVC about to author their first substitution. It'll be Callista Rubel coming in as the Vikings' 12th woman. Hand on the back of Sierra Rosemont, and that'll be a free kick here on the second Folsom Lake foul. Rosemont standing strong.
Yeah, it's a good move as we see DVC push up, trying to get some offense going here to respond to Folsom.
So far, I've had a bit of trouble trying to just possess and connect passes. No surprise against a big team with a lot of experience. Carol Esquivias trying to get stuck in there with the 21, Katie Scherson. Vikings making it tough. Ball out, another throw here for the Falcons. Claimed by Rogers, up over the left side, and that's going to go out of play. Trying to find Rachel George. That'll be a Viking throw, and time for the substitution.
Into the game for DVC, 16, Callista Rubel.
You give it a little growl when it's the home team.
Yeah, and it's a good substitution as, Carol was just getting a little more out of work there, so give her some rest and Chris to match some of the size that Folsom has in their defense.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking there, that you certainly have to match strength with strength sometimes. If you've got enough speed, you can sometimes use that mismatch to your advantage. But at the moment there, we saw Cottle trying to go up against Scherson, giving up quite a bit in the way of both height and weight. This ball's dropped back to Ninkovic, and a good charge by the forward Rogers to take the ball away. Scherson into the center, one touch by Diome to the center circle. Trying to get spun is the 5, Abril. And now spraying this to the right side to the substitute, Destin Armstrong. Lopez Real gets a touch to that, looks to work her way around the 6. Ball taken away, and here comes Sophia up ahead in search of Suhani. Picked off by the defense.
Wow.
And Suhani, by and large, I feel more of a hold-up forward. We've seen the occasional pass trying to set her up to possess with her back to goal. The ones that have been searching for her in space have been a little less effective to this point, as we see DeChoco get in there, poke a ball away from the number 2, Andrea Hernandez. Throw in taken quickly to Diome. Knocked away and taken up by DVC, again in the direction of Singh, and again cut off. Sorry, there's Andrea Hernandez. I'm not quite sure who it was down there on the right side, but she's the right back. Thought she was on an overlap. I was wrong. Numbers are tiny.
Definitely, and something that we just saw from Sophia on last possession when she was defense, just being a hound, being somebody who is, defender. She has the speed, similar to Carol, but somebody can just get the ball away from the defense, pressure them to a bad pass, and we saw it. She got the ball, just bad pass to Suhani. So something you can see something positive from Sophia in the future.
Oh, absolutely. And DVC looking to keep it at 1-0 for as long as they can here, trying to maintain themselves in this game. They did give up the goal in the 14th, we saw. As we'll recap the scores for you up here, Folsom Lake with the goal scored in the 14th minute, courtesy of Marin Rogers. Ball up over the left side here in search of Rogers. Speak of the devil, but ball pursued by Hicks, out for a goal kick.
Good run out by Hicks there, and yeah, I mean, you just gotta contain them, and maybe double a little bit more here and there, but have some good pressure cover balance as you double. Goal taken out by Correa here.
Yeah, tough thing here as the Falcons prepare another substitution is that as they do that, what you're largely going to see is the insertion of players that usually start for this team. As Rubel takes the ball away, she's flying up the right side, resists the slide tackle of Hernandez, now tries to get outside the right back, and able to recover and clear the ball away. It'll be a DVC throw, though, in the attacking third. But Armstrong, somebody who's started a decent bit, 11 starts so far on the season, out of the 14 matches that Coach Roboto's team has played. And same for the woman waiting to come in a moment, Cameron Lee. 10 starts, 11 appearances for the freshman midfielder out of Christian Brothers. So Folsom's going to start to look a little more like them, like themselves on a normal day as we reach the middle of this half. Throw in here for the green and white, taking up the right side. Trying to get on that again is Callista. Gets it on her left boot, slides this one in, but it's a little too close to the keeper, Celeste Craighead. She'll get her first touch here, 5th start of the season for Craighead. Just a single goal scored against her and 4 saves. As this ball's picked off by Rosemont, Sierra trying to push something forward. Lopez Real looking to get to that ball at the byline. It's going to be just a little bit long, and Destin Armstrong doing good work to shield it away.
Definitely, that's what you want to see. Good, first some IDs, first action in the first third here.
Yeah, Vikings starting to possess a little bit, which might be why we're starting to see the starters come in. In just a moment, Carla Esquivias is going to come back into the fray. She'll be taking off Diana Ruiz. We'll let folks know about the new player for Folsom.
Into the game for the Falcons, 27, Cameron Lee.
And Cameron Lee coming in for Kylie Diome here, so starter replacing starter there, and interesting sub there.
Yeah, Lee immediately stations herself towards the back, so not a like-for-like swap. It's going to bring about a bit of rotation, I would imagine, in the side. As Diome, we saw a bit more of a playmaker.
Oh boy.
It is still George, Rogers, and Abril up ahead as a ball is directed route 1, cut off by Maila Hicks. Good work by the 24 in green and black. Suhani Singh receiving from Casey Trujillo. Able to spin around the arrival of a player as a shift change is being prepared in front of us. And if you hear some movement, that's Jay and me standing up so we can see anything happening in the middle third of the field. Ball worked over to the sideline, taken by Sofia Lopez Real. Turns around a defender, works her way to the byline, tries to slide in across, deflected away. Is that the Vikings' first corner?
Both players sliding there. I think there's a little bit of defense, a little bit of just the field, and Sofia just doing a stretch there as we have a couple of subs here.
And so for some reason, apparently not doing them just yet. DVC are going to take their first corner. Oh, of course, because it's over the back line for a corner, not a goal kick.
Okay.
That's why. Used to back line, meaning that everybody comes in, but it'll be 5 subs in a moment for Coach Roboto. In the meanwhile, though, corner kick to come. It's going to be Casey Trujillo driving this one in, rather Sierra Rosemont, falling near the top of the 18. Claimed by DeChoco, unable to take any sort of shot there. She'll get it back to Sierra. Now directs a diagonal ball in, but it's going to find at least a couple of Vikings offside as the flag is raised by the man here at the near sideline, Tom Kendig.
And good idea there from Rosemont, trying to get it back in the box. Would like it in the air maybe, try and get maybe Suhani in for a header, but offside now, coming in.
The free kick is intercepted by Suhani. Wouldn't have minded seeing her take a rip from distance, and I thought I might have seen her getting pulled.
Oh.
at that moment. The whistle finally from Cecilia Chavez, and indeed, looked like somebody either had a handful of jersey or arm in that case, and that'll be the third foul whistled against Folsom Lake, and a free kick for the Falcons turns into a free kick for the Vikes.
Mm-hmm. Good spot, good place, get it in, and get a good chance.
Nearing the final quarter of an hour of this first half, Rosemont puts that one in the air. It's going to take a drop, fumbled by Craighead, and Singh just barely unable to get there first. Poked away by the Folsom Lake defense. Corner kick coming up for DVC.
That was a great opportunity, great ball in, and now a great chance for a set opportunity here.
Yeah, Sierra going direct on that one, and getting it to skip at exactly the right spot. You'd call it an in-between hop, and Craighead unable to handle it cleanly. And it's going to be Esquivias putting in the ball from the right side.
Ball coming in, corner kick.
Here comes Cottle. That one floated toward the back post. Up to it is Callista, and it's going to rattle around and be saved across the 6-yard box. Best opportunity the Vikings have had today. Rubel nearly opening her account in green and white.
Great opportunity. I like what we're seeing here from DVC in the past few minutes, just pressuring the defense, pressuring the goalkeeper, and free throw here. Oh, free throw.
Throw it.
Throw it.
All good.
Apologies, folks.
To the chest of Casey Trujillo. Back to Ninkovic. Back to Casey, trying to put this one in at the top of the 18 for Suhani. Popped straight up in the air by the Folsom Lake defense. Rubel getting stuck in on Andrea Hernandez. And Rubel's presence, I got to say, she's been doing some work over there, intercepting passes, making things difficult. Here, it is a foul committed by Sierra Rosemont, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of Folsom. But Rubel having an effect over there, and I think she's made it easier for Suhani to find a little space because there's a little more physicality up there to complement her.
Definitely, agree with you.
Ninkovic shepherded that ball out, may have absorbed a small shove. In fact, did, so that is indeed foul number 4 against Folsom, and Ninkovic to launch a free kick up the right sideline. That one knocked down, just barely held in play, maybe assisted with a hand by Scherson, but nothing given. Even if it had been the case, as that one's brought in Route 1 style to Denise Correa. Even if she had handled that with the elbow there, I think she was completely shielding Cecilia Chavez from ever seeing it.
Yeah.
Well, that is what you have an AR for. Anyway, doesn't make any difference here as the ball's brought forward. Sliding to ground again is the 11, Yazzie, as she puts it to the left wing for Regina George. George trying to cut it around her opposing number 8, Ninkovic. Now she beats Hicks, loads it up on her right foot, trying to float that over Correa, but she also floats it over the crossbar.
And now the subs.
And at long last, we're going to get our view cleared up here as 5 players come in for Folsom. It's going to be the 7, the 26, the 18, the 25.
And yeah.
And there's one more, and I got to figure out who that is. Oh, the 24. Here we go. Excuse me while I defend a dissertation or something here.
Entering for Folsom Lake, everybody. 7, Olivia Ivy. 18, Angelina Lopez. 24, Thaisa Arredondo. 25, Grace Pratt. 26, Josie Reynolds.
Anything you thought you knew about Folsom Lake's lineup is wrong now. Here comes the ball up the side here after the shift change. Immediately worked in toward the box, held, and now dropped back, and the player was offside that took off there. I don't know if that was the 11 Yazzie, I think. Certainly has the stature of Yazzie, but for all I know, there's a 50-50 chance any name I say is no longer on the field. But it was indeed Yazzie.
Yes, it was. And trying to see what the lineup changes here. Get that news to you shortly, but
yeah, Olivia Ivy just got her first touch here on the left side where she is joined by Josie Reynolds. Ball taken away here, though. Casey Trujillo coming up the field. She's got a bomb in that right boot if she can get around the last defender to get some space. Good work by Cameron Lee to close down the Viking captain.
That's what you want to see from DVC in these counterattacks. Good doubles, good attacks, and she didn't have any help from her forwards coming in, but good chance there.
Arredondo drops it back to her defensive line. Here's another ball nearly shown to Trujillo. Josie Reynolds on it right now, spinning around the arrival of the Viking captain. Lee into the center.
We've seen Casey Trujillo everywhere today, trying to just be aggressive and be physical, and it's worked so far. And
ball over the right side here for Yazzie. DeChoco trying to close. Ball played into the center by Yazzie and knocked away by Maila Hicks.
Something I'd like to see from my Vikings in the defense is instead of just clearing it away, maybe hold it for a second if you have some space and then try and find a second pass. A lot of these chances from Folsom has just been from, just clearing it immediately. So hold on to it a little bit, maybe find a pass. If not, then clear it,
Yeah, that can be a tough thing with a team like this. You're worried about getting beaten on the dribble or losing out on the ball in possession as this one's flicked over the head. Cameron Lee's going to pop this up. Out comes Correa to the top of her 6, and she'll claim that. But to your point, that is some of that composure we talked about. We saw it from Marin Rogers. So far, that level of composure with people flying around you is the difference in this game. Her goal in the 14th minute. So far, the only tally on the board from Pleasant Hill. Ball in the back line, controlled there by the 18, Angelina Lopez. Tries to loop one over the right side.
Ball chased down by Correa.
Yep, easy prey for Denise.
Oh.
Oof, boy, okay, so she brings it in. Now does clear it. It's popped up by Maddie Stroh.
Good pressure from Folsom. I don't think the goalkeeper was expecting that there as Folsom has the ball now. Good.
There you go. Callista Rubel able to take another one away, resisting the arrival of a defender. Just needs to keep her arms down. This ball worked into the center here. Did take a deflection, and Esquivias won't quite be able to get onto it. Brought out wide right. Destin Armstrong, her ball forward, cut off by Rodas, who is wearing the captain's armband today, bequeathed by Lily Underwood. Now a ball looped over from Rodas to the right side. It is again Josie Reynolds with Casey Trujillo buzzing around in her airspace. She'll drop it back to Craighead.
That was good physicality and aggression from Rubel there. Love to see that in the future, but yeah, keep your hands down. Don't want another card here.
Yeah, it's been an issue the last couple of games. She's got, I believe, one card at every position she's played so far. One in defense, one in midfield, one as a forward as the Folsom player tumbles over the ball for a moment, gets back up, feeds Stroh, who now puts it up the right side for Destin Armstrong. Her first touch is a little long, and look out here. Extracurriculars between Armstrong and Sofia Lopez Real, and that is going to certainly bring something out of the pocket of Cecilia Chavez, at the very least. A firm talking to, and it looks like both players have been shown yellow here in minute number 36.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen them be aggressive and physical the whole game, but that came out of nowhere from our angle.
Yeah, just maybe a little bit of physical play that at least one of the two did not appreciate and reacted to. Looks like the Vikings will make a substitution rapidly as we announce the cards.
Yellow cards shown in the 36th minute to DVC's number 7, Sofia Lopez Real, and Folsom Lake's number 6, Destin Armstrong.
So ball back in play here for the green and white. 9 minutes to go in this first half, and certainly DVC have rebounded well from the opener scored by Rogers. They have not seen their head drop. The intensity continuing. They continue to earn free kicks all over the place. 5th foul whistled there against Folsom, and have started to produce some real opportunities. Rubel going very close about 10 minutes ago to leveling this encounter.
Definitely. I mean, we needed some physicality and aggression after that goal, and we've seen it. Just yellows come with the shove, but I mean, I like what I'm seeing so far.
Esquivia is able to get the first touch to that free kick. Rosemont ends up in a battle to try to recover it, floats it to the left side and has it repelled into the spectator stands. Decent little presence of Vikings fans on a Tuesday afternoon. Of course, if you can't be here at the Vike, be that today or a week from today or the Friday that follows that, as Diana Ruiz re-enters the game here for DVC.
Sophia did not look happy as she came out. but yeah.
It's been a pretty tight leash this season. If you get yourself a yellow card or do anything that looks like you're about to get a yellow card, you'll sometimes hear the voice of Colleen Mullen saying, Mr. Official, can I get her? And got to do what you got to do. Calm things down, let them take the pot off the boil. And assuming that that's her last action of the half, another 15 minutes to make sure that Sofia, normally a very happy-go-lucky person, doesn't end up doing anything she'd regret. Carla Esquivias trying to attack that ball. Folsom's going to take it back, and it is now Destin Armstrong working against DeChoco, and she cuts inside her. Hicks trying to cover. She's going to take a rip from the right side, and that one hits the side netting, luckily from the outside. Another shot, 6th today by Folsom Lake, but somewhat astonishingly, if I've got this record correct here, just a single shot on goal so far today. Oh, we got 2? Okay. All right. 2 each, apparently, there. Okay. That's right. I didn't get the Craighead one earlier as we've got a substitution. It's going to be the 16, Sadra Joseph, entering for her first action.
Not yet.
although not just yet. A few things to be tended first. So we'll continue onward here with the present company. Grace Pratt has that taken away by Cristabel Rodas, and she looks to explore a little space, dumps this into the center for Rosemont, and a massive coming together, a foul by Sierra. And we'll see if that's going to lead to any brandishing of bright cards. So far, it does not look to be the case.
Yeah, she was going for the ball, just had to do a last-second stretch and resulted in the foul. So nothing too big there, but nonetheless a free kick.
Yeah, crucially the legs down on that one, so nothing particularly dangerous to admonish, it would appear. Free kick to be taken. Maddie Stroh is going to put this one in. Chipped nicely towards the 6-yard box. Popped up in the air by Lee. Knocked down by Yazzie, and now repelled by Sierra Rosemont. Held for a moment by the 24. It'll be taken away by Esquivias. She's going to hook this one forward in the direction of Singh. Nothing doing. Now Trujillo's going to knock it down. Unfortunately, Singh already off to the run, unable to backtrack and retain it.
Yeah, just some things like that in the midfield, not miscommunicating on things like that can result in, maybe further down the line opportunity. So just got to work communication in the midfield for sure.
Yeah, you think in a moment like that with the ball still rattling around, not time to get off the run yet. Here's a ball into the 18-yard box, met with the head of the number 7, Olivia Ivy, but a little bit wide of Correa's goal. She'll go low to save it anyhow. And on the basis of that, it will go down as Folsom Lake's 3rd shot on goal to DVC's 2. Vikings with a free kick by Rosemont that nearly created an opportunity for Singh, and then the Callista Rubel header as that clearance by Hicks is smothered by Ivy. Has her back to Maila, trying to retain the ball.
Good defense.
That's going to go out the back line. It'll be a corner kick. 3rd of the game for Folsom. DVC have had 2 of their own, and it will allow the substitution here. Joseph entering.
Into the match for Folsom Lake, 16, Sadra Joseph.
She will take off the captain, Yazzie.
Her having a great game as she comes off maybe for just a few seconds of half here, gets 16 in.
Here comes the corner kick from the left side. That is long and loopy and towards the top of the 18. Met with a head and directed back to the left side. That met on the half volley by Stroh, and it sneaks through Correa, and it's going to be a bit of a gift. Correa seemed to have that stopped, but it ends up being a second goal, and the thing that the Vikings most were hoping to avoid.
Yeah, just an unfortunate event there. She had it, just slipped through, and 2-0.
Is that Hope Northrup, the 23, that struck that ball? Do I have that right?
I believe so. They all look similar numbers, so I don't want to say for sure.
I know it was 20-something, but one of the numbers I was looking at didn't make a ton of sense in that situation. So we're going to go with Northrup for now and make the announcement. And if I'm wrong, they'll correct me, which is how I've learned this works.
Goal in the 41st minute for Folsom Lake off the boot of number 23, Hope Northrup. 2-0, Folsom on top.
No correction so far, so I think
yeah,
we're good.
no one's shouted at me yet, so we'll take it. I think we're all right. It's coming our direction. Jay off to be a helper, and we have Ben corrected now. It was 34, Maddie Stroh in all of the. It's the funny thing here. As soon as Correa seemed to have it saved, I stopped recording any sort of memories it would appear of it. So we'll correct that right now for them.
Correction, Maddie Stroh with the goal for Folsom Lake to make it 2-0 here in minute number 43.
All right, so continuing to be a wee bit of a story here, inability to get those those results. But as we've learned, the surest way, both in soccer, PA, and on the internet, to get the right answer is to very loudly say the wrong one. Somebody will tell you. So there is your result there. We'll go ahead and get the score updated as well on here. I have too many jobs. And Folsom Lake in search of another as Maddie Stroh puts a ball over to the right side looking for the newly inserted Joseph. Defended well by Rodas, and that's going to go out the back. Goal kick here to come. Clock's about to come to a stop here at Vikings Field. And 5 seconds later, of course, on DVC Vikings Live, since we got a late start to it running here, but no problems there. We are nearing the halftime break, and for DVC, it is going to be, a wild kick there from the number 3. And a foul as well for a big shove.
Definitely, you just got to contain them the last 2 minutes, and another yellow shown, actually.
Oh, goodness.
I believe to 34.
That is 34, so Stroh getting all over the score sheet at the moment, as she as well picks up here in the 44th minute that yellow card.
Yellow card shown to 34, Maddie Stroh at the 44th minute.
Back to live action here as the ball's taken away and brought forward by, the 13 Rosemont. Nearly had her head taken off by the arriving clearance after that.
Oh.
And here comes, Diana Ruiz taking the ball away on the left side. She'll put this to the left wing here for Esquivias. A little bit too long, the defender to it. It does stay in play. And now Esquivias takes the ball away, and she's got somebody in the middle there to potentially serve if she could have gotten it off towards Suhani. Luckily, it still stays with DVC. Rodas trying to put a ball forward for Suhani, repelled by Northrop.
There's good opportunities there, getting into Suhani, maybe a little bit too low, but good chances.
Okay, Lee up ahead, and that's going to skew off the foot of Hicks, but it does favor Rodas to come get it. Here's a ball popped up in the air off the foot of Rosemont, but DVC again kind of wildly having their issues with holding possession in the middle. Here's DeChoco. This is a little more like it. Into the center circle, back to Rosemont, looking to cut it around the arrival of Arredondo. Drop back to Rodas, and that is going to do it here. The half comes to a close, and it is a pair of goals here for Folsom Lake. The first one just at the quarter of an hour mark by the new starter, Marin Rogers, her 6th of the season, and then Maddie Stroh with a bit of a gift. Sneaks it under Denise Correa late in the piece there in the 41st minute. We've seen a couple of yellow cards as well brandished, one aside for the encounter between Armstrong and Lopez Real, and then the late one to Maddie Stroh for a hard foul in the middle. Jay, thoughts here before we go to our halftime break? What do you think of what you've seen so far from DVC?
I mean, it's a bit of a mixed game. I've seen some good things in the attacking third. I think we need to clean up the midfield a little bit, try and get some accurate passes, get some, proper looks in, not lose the ball. It's all about who makes less mistakes, and so far we've seen Folsom really dominate the field in the passing game. Defensively, just got to lock in, not foul too much, and hold them at bay.
Yeah, you'd say really the two goals coming about, one from not really a defensive mistake, but just a nice bit of composure from Marin Rogers, and then the other one, admittedly a gift, a difficult one there off of the developments of a corner kick, but you got to feel pretty good about not allowing them to create a ton of opportunities. Just 4 shots on goal for the Falcons. So encouraging things here for the green and white. They will look to get themselves on the score sheet. It has been a little bit since we've gotten to carry on like lunatics for a Viking goal, and we hope for a little bit of that in the second 45. Until then, for the next 15, Dave Hughes is in control of your radio dial. The beat of Diablo here on DVC Vikings Live halftime. Your score at the break again, Folsom 2, DVC 0.
This is Dave Hughes, and you're listening to select cuts from my weekly show, The Beat of Diablo, here on DVC Vikings Live Halftime. If you want to hear more local music, tune in this Sunday and every Sunday at 7 p.m. to Concord's iconic student-built 90.5 KVHS, Concord Rock City.
Where the pine grows, there's a
And welcome back to Pleasant Hill, folks. DVC and Folsom Lake. It's a 2-0 Falcons lead. After the break, Joe Hickey joined by Jay Gima today. We'll take a quick look at the stats. Folsom Lake out shooting the green and white 9-2 at this point. Just 4 of them on frame, however. 2 of those in the back of the net, of course. Those in the 14th minute by Marin Rogers and in the 41st by Maddie Stroh. There have been a handful of fouls here and there. 6-4 the count on that. Folsom Lake in the lead, quote unquote. 3 corners to 2. Folsom Lake also leading that count, and we do have 2 yellow cards. One shown to Stroh, the goal scorer, just after she scored her goal, about 3 minutes later, and a pair of yellow cards that were issued for an encounter between Sofia Lopez Real and Destin Armstrong, so one aside on those. Jay, your impressions of what we saw in first half action here from the Vike?
Yeah, I mean, first impressions of the first half, they kind of started out a little bit just pacing, and then they got aggressive and, just kept pushing. And even after seeing both goals, they were pretty aggressive, and just want to see some of that early on in the second half, try and get one of these goals back, maybe even 2, and make it competitive. Yeah,
certainly they always say 2-0, the most dangerous lead in soccer, because you give up that one and it suddenly feels like the shoe is very much on the other foot. And so, yeah, DVC will be in search of that. They did that against Modesto, albeit within the first half as it worked out, and ended up falling in that game by the eventual 2-1 scoreline. To remind you, the goal by Rogers, product of some delightful composure inside the box to cut the ball onto the other foot, get around a defender, and deposit it to the far post. The second goal by Maddie Stroh, a shot directly at Denise Correa that unfortunately got through her and gave them that 2-0 advantage. Vikings had a decent shout at an equalizer before that. As we get back underway here in second half action, the clock's coming into motion. And for some reason, the one here on my scoreboard not doing anything. Let's see if we can fix that. I don't love that. Go? No? What's your problem? Well, we'll deal with that here as we go and see if we can get it fixed up and restarted.
Ball taken out.
There we are.
And it's going to be DVC ball.
Thank you very much, Jay, for giving us a little something there as the conflicting roles of play-by-play man and producer started to mess with me there for a moment. We're going to see if we can get that thing fully synced up with what's going on the scoreboard over the course of this. Yeah, there we go. Now we seem to be in business. Sorry for that. Not sure what's going on there, but at any rate, we are fully functional with all of our graphics and good things, and we're back underway here. DVC looking to get a fully functional offense going, and I was starting to say before we started having technical issues there that yeah, DVC had their share of opportunities, mostly playing a counter-attacking game, but there was this spell of about 10 minutes in the middle of the half where they possessed really nicely, created a few chances, had a free kick that nearly skipped by Celeste Craighead. Kind of the difference in the game right there is that the one that got through her still kicked wide of the goal, whereas the one that went through Correa went straight backwards. That's unfortunate bounce of the ball in that moment, but those opportunities there, and then Callista Rubel rising on a corner kick. DVC have been at their most effective off dead balls so far, and Rubel rose and headed that ball forward. She starts the second half here. Was among the more effective players for the Vikings. It seemed that her pairing with Singh added some much-needed muscle up front to free up some space for Suhani.
Definitely, and you see her start the second half here, and something to note as, these DVC Vikings get the ball back. When you're playing these heavy minutes, the legs start to get more tired. You have to, your brain's going to fog it up. You just need to, stay composed, keep in it, and play it out. They're going to be tired here as the game goes on. So.
Yeah, well, it's one of the things that makes possession so valuable in this second half, because you can conserve energy. I was having a talk with Colleen Mullins on the ride back from Cosumnes River about whether there is any physiological data on why it feels like it is so much more tiring to have to play in defense and run around than it is to run around in the midfield and the attack. Are you really running less, or is it the psychology of it? And yeah, it seems like we might need to write up a grant or something and figure that out for ourselves, because we were delighting in that discussion. Early substitution, it looks like here for Folsom Lake, as the ball's out on the far sideline due to an apparent injury. We do have Cameron Lee leaving the field, and she'll be meeting the trainers up here at the near sideline. Luckily able to get off under her own power. That's going to mean Maddie Stroh comes back into the game for Folsom.
Goal scorer coming back in from the 41st, and
Although do watch this space. She and the 6, both of them kind of on this near side of the field on a yellow. Vikings yellow carded player Sofia Lopez Real, I believe, starting the second half. Oh, no, there she is. She's on the right wing now of the attack, so she starts up top rather than in the defense. Here's a ball headed forward nicely by Ruiz. Oh, my goodness. Singh, if she'd gotten control of that, might have had a chance to get somewhere. Esquivias runs into a brick wall there, the number 10, Mia Mulaney. And that's going to be a Folsom ball here. A sliding challenge from Mila Ninkovic. She takes it away. Here comes Lopez Real up the right side. Sofia in full flight. Now tries to float a ball into the space of Suhani Singh. That gets through a defender. Singh at a foot race with Craig Head, but it'll be the woman in red coming up to it.
So much just happened there. I mean, we saw just Carroll get kind of leveled there by Folsom, and then we see Sofia get the ball, have a good run in, looked for Suhani, found it, and almost got a touch on it.
And trying to go end-to-end for the scorer of today's first goal, Marin Rogers, but that one a little heavy, and it favors Correa. 50-50 ball won by Folsom at midfield. Drop back now into the defense, Northrup. Looking for her options, only Suhani Singh over there applying pressure. That's a bit of a hospital ball, though, and cutting inside. I don't know if that was the right decision by Mulaney. It worked out. But if anything was going to potentially cut it right into Singh's path, it was to go back and into the center like that. Whew. Now with a bit more space, Mulaney floating this to the right side in search of the 6 Armstrong, unable to keep the ball in play. It'll be a Viking throw. Knocked down here and held by Cristabel Rodas. Her ball forward, reflected by the 10 Mulaney. Back into the center. Held there by Arredondo. Sprayed out to the left side for Stroh. Working in that space, Layla Hadid, who started today's action and is back out on the field on the left wing position. Currently it's Stroh getting stuck in a battle with 2 DVC players and floats the ball in the direction of Ninkovic, but the give backwards is going to be taken away. One good touch by Rogers. She comes up and Correa gets huge. Big save there on the 10th Falcon shot and their 5th one on goal of today's game.
Another big save, and as we see, you know, Denise kind of saved the day there. I mean, the defense was getting beat. Looked like a cross in to the forward coming in, and corner kick taken out now.
Yeah, that first touch by Rogers was spectacular. Absolutely took it away from the center defense and kept it moving in the right direction for her. It will be the day's 4th corner kick coming from the left side. This one floating in. Correa getting to it, punches it away, not terribly far, gets under the feet of a Folsom player. Here's an attempt to drive from distance, and that'll go high and wide off the boot of Mulaney.
Yeah, we saw it go through 2 or 3 of Folsom players' feet there, and good shot there. Now free kick coming in, goal kick.
Yeah, good work by Correa just to get the hands to it. Didn't quite get enough power behind it to really clear the danger, but luckily there, the shot from distance not particularly threatening. That ball in is sprayed by Hicks out the back. It's going to be a 5th Folsom corner.
You saw Kylie Diom there coming in off of the missed takeout by Rodas, and corner kick coming in now.
They've got a short option. It is Diom staying over there at the sideline, but looks like a left-footed player at the corner flag. In swinger. But it's going to end up all the way up at the half moon, knocked down by a player who's going to rip, and it's off the, my goodness, off the right post. That seemed to come out of nothing there. Having all sorts of trouble getting herself settled was Layla Hadid, and then suddenly turned, fired, and banged it off the woodwork.
Yeah, I think that play was for her to get the volley and just like shoot immediately. She got a little lost and then fired a bullet into the right post.
Somehow got through that sea of humanity and just rang clear as a bell off the white paint. Another corner kick coming. It's the 6th today for Folsom. This one floating in. Correa comes out briefly, but it's headed away by Rosemont. Stays in here and now served into the 6, right into the hands of Denise.
Diom trying to get on the scoreboard there, just said, I'm going to take it myself, and Denise was in the right spot, right time.
Well, Denise, more often than not, these last handful of games has been exactly where you need her to be. She's been beaten only by one little mistake there late in the first half as DeChoco goes in for a tackle and is the worse for it. Comes back up, but got stuck in there against Rogers.
Looked like she just hit her head for a little bit, but she seems to be fine. And
Yeah, I thought maybe a flailing foot got her towards the face, perhaps, because she initially looked like she brought her hand up toward her nose, but seems to be all right.
Just a little startled, maybe.
Casey Trujillo is going to come back into the action in just a moment as she awaits at the midfield stripe. Ball in possession right now of Folsom Lake. A nice chipped one over the top, looking for Armstrong off the boot of Andrea Hernandez, but it's going to be a little too long. Over the back line, and a goal kick to come, and that'll give Casey Trujillo the chance to re-enter the action. We did mention that the Vikings have just 3 substitutes available to them. We've yet to see Alina Rodriguez so far at this point, or Hannah Walden. It's just been Callista Rubel coming in off the bench, and the Vikings have essentially cycled one player off at a time to get them a blow, and so it'll be Rubel herself coming off, and we're back to the Vikings' original starting 11.
Yeah, interesting. We've seen, Folsom kind of use their use a lot of their players, 6, 7 coming off the bench, and we've seen just 1 come off for DVC, and just kind of rotate. Yeah,
honestly, the gross thing is that isn't the full rotation we've already seen. They put in 5 players at once. We don't have 5 total. So, at any rate, it happens. It is the reality of a long Big 8 season. You're gonna have a bit of going to lose a few players here and there. This ball served into the center toward the 6, popped up off the boot of the Folsom player, prolonged and taken back out of the box. Worked out to the right side, a cross coming in towards the top of the penalty dot area, over the top of both Ninkovic and the number 25, Grace Pratt, cleared over to the far sideline, throw in to come for Folsom.
Yeah, and, something to note that all started from just midfield misconfrontation. I think Sierra Rosemont had just tried to push it back from pressure, and now a chance here.
Off the throw-in, headed forward by Rogers. She's going to beat everybody to the ball. Headed forward, but my goodness, Denise Correa, another big stop on the 6th Folsom Lake shot on goal.
Definitely, Denise coming up big there once again, and right back at it, take 2.
Attentive to it. That header forward, I think that might have been Kylie Diome or perhaps Grace Pratt that got on the end of that. Another ball to almost the exact same spot. Now knocked down. Batted away. It's out at the far sideline. Sofia Lopez Real applying some pressure. Now it's Suhani Singh.
This is where we're start to see on plays like that on defense, your legs start to get tired. It's poked out.
There we go. Carol Esquivias making use of her speed. Pokes that forward. Gives herself a chance to beat Mulaney on the dribble. Now cuts inside. Still Cuddle. Squares this up for Casey. Casey gets to the half moon. Fires over the top of the crossbar and only just. Best looking attack DVC have authored right there. Tell us a little bit about that, Jay.
You see Carol there just trying to get that speed in. She used it great. Cut in, was patient, was calm, found a DVC attacker in Casey. Just a shot, a little bit high, but that was a great chance, great play.
Well, and there's almost nobody you'd rather see steaming to the very edge of the 18, loading up a shot than Casey Trujillo on this roster. She's scored from there already once this season in the game against Woodland. It was a banger. She was looking to load one up there and try and get that goal that makes the 2-0 lead so dangerous.
And that's exactly what I was looking for. How do the players react to defensive plays like that from just a few minutes ago? Counterattack like that was going to do great for the morale boost.
Ball rattling around in the center circle. Trujillo almost able to get to it, but it'll be Folsom again, trying to send Destin Armstrong up the right side. Cristabel Rodas in pursuit. Armstrong will take the cross first time. Out comes Correa, and she at least makes it hard enough. Now it's served back in for Rogers. Cleared off the line to Choco. Still alive, fired, and saved by Denise.
Few shots there on goal, and good defense from Correa and the Vikings defense as well.
Yeah, did well enough to get out and provide, at the very least, a filter, a little distraction to the player who was coming in looking to meet that one with the head on the first opportunity. We saw a shot from distance, eventually the one of most interest, but the header across goal cleaned up very confidently by Ella DeChoco, and that was an important play there by her. She's back in pursuit right now with Marin Rogers hanging all over her. Pushes it here toward the sideline. Ball off of a Folsom player, out for a throw. It's going to stay here with the Falcons. Right back here to the 20, Diome. Ruiz in pursuit. Drop back here. Grace Pratt puts it on her right. Now serves the ball forward, looking for Rogers. Taken away. Hicks, a little difficulty trying to clear it. It'll be a shot instead from Kylie Diome from distance, but nothing too terribly threatening to Denise.
Seeing Kylie Diome trying to get some shots on goal, pressure the defense, and just trying to get a surprise goal almost.
Yeah, Diome, the freshman midfielder out of Antelope, 9 assists on the season. does have 4 goals as well, but for her, 2 goals and 2 of her assists, all coming against Sacramento City. Ball back to the feet of Marin Rogers, who was featured greatly here in her first collegiate start. Slides the ball across the middle, and it's picked off by Sofia Lopez Real. She looks to use her speed, trying to cut around the arrival of Arredondo. The other defender able to profit from Arredondo slowing down DVC's fleet number 7. Here's Ruiz. Loop forward. Nobody running into that space at the moment for the green and white.
Yeah, you see Sophia had Casey there, was trying to figure out how to get to her around the Folsom 2 midfielders and just couldn't get it there, but good looks for sure.
Here's Suhani Singh, locked in battle at the back with Hernandez, one of the few starters usually in a starting lineup for Folsom that was in today's starting lineup for Donnie Roboto. A bit of squad rotation today, and the first-time collegiate starter Rogers has a goal to her name, as does Maddie Stroh. 2-0 here, as a rip is taken from the top of the 18, wide and high, off the boot of Thaisa Arredondo.
Yeah, and we've seen Hernandez just have the primary assignment along with Northrop there for Simon Otswani Singh. They're making it difficult for her.
No doubt. And we saw her get more space when Rubel was in there to occupy one of those two. Certainly made it a bit more of a one-on-one situation, and it does take 2 or 3 people usually to stop Callista Rubel. There's a shot to the ground there, as I believe it's Sofia Lopez Real absorbing contact. I think that's going to be a free kick given right up against the sideline, and so we'll wait a little longer. 3 substitutions have been prepared by Mr. Roboto, but the 7th Folsom foul is going to give way to a Viking free kick. Sierra Rosemont standing over it.
Yeah, I think just collision of bodies there. I saw Hadid take her shoe, her shoe came off, so collision of bodies, nothing too big there.
Rosemont floating this one towards the edge of the 18, repelled from in front of Singh. Headed back to try to get it is Casey Trujillo, but it'll be Marin Rogers looking to send her teammate. Knocked down here by the DVC defense. Now trying to change the point of attack to the right side toward Destin Armstrong. Her first touch is going to put it into space, but Rodas able to take it away.
You see Hicks down the field after taking that ball, and something happened there.
And Maila at the moment on one knee, now on both knees, as Folsom get ready to author a substitution. We'll see if the Vikings respond with one of their own in a moment, as it'll be Rachel George, Sadra Joseph, and I think it was Takari Abril about to re-enter, and Callista Rubel getting ready to come in. This might be Callista going back into her more standard position in the back line that we saw her in throughout the beginning of this season.
Something with her ankle or her foot there.
Yeah, definitely seems to be favoring the left one as she comes off the field. So we'll see if this is going to mean that Rubel goes into the back line or if she stays up top and Sierra Rosemont pulls into the back.
She has a smile on her face, so she looks to be okay. Just maybe a little bit of a ankle problem.
Yeah, just took a good whack. Hopefully nothing structurally problematic there. So here are the substitutes, George, Joseph, excuse me, and Abril. They take off Marin Rogers as well as the 14, Layla Hadid, and one other in a pink headband who I have not caught the number of just yet, Grace Pratt, out of the game. Nearing the halfway point of this second half, DVC have gone close to an equalizer through Casey Trujillo, and the ball's over the top of her shoulder, looking again closed up by Mulaney. Met with the head of Callista Rubel, and she's going to hoof this deep, unfortunately a bit too much on that.
Good idea there, trying to find a forward out in space, and just, fortunately nobody was there.
Ball worked amongst the defenders. Suhani Singh applying a little bit of pressure, but now Folsom looking to build out of the back. Their ball forward cut off by Ninkovic, goes straight back where it came from to the 22, that being Shirley Garaige. Shirley's helpful enough to come over and deliver both the pronunciation of her last name and the number change in one fell swoop, as it was one of the few that we wanted to make sure we had right here. A little bit of a fake out on the throw-in. Now put over to the left wing. It's Sierra Rosemont taking that off the arrival.
And just clearing it out of bounds. And halfway through the second half here, seeing some good stuff from both sides and contained, and you just got to, you know, keep pushing if you're the Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings have had the kind of counterattack that you are praying for against a team like Folsom as they gain possession here on an errant throw-in. But unfortunately just unable to hit the target was Casey Trujillo at the end of one of the better counters we've seen all day today. They've now got Callista back in, although she is now playing with the back line, or at the very least the defensive midfield. She's trying to run up through. Got through 2 defenders. Couldn't get through the last one. It's now on the boot of Arredondo. Up ahead, 1 touch now towards the center, looking for Takari Abril. Sofia Lopez Real now getting into a slide on Regina. Sorry, dang it, I knew I was going to do it. Rachel George. She's not a mean girl. I messed it up. Rachel George. I shouldn't have even said it out loud. I realized 20 minutes before kickoff, I'm like, that's who the girl in Mean Girls is. And then I was like, okay, now I got to go 90 minutes trying not to say it. We got through 64. Here's a shot from distance, but that's straight to the breadbasket of Denise Correa. 14th shot by Folsom, 9th one on frame. Correa 7 saves today, along with being bailed out once by her goal post.
Definitely, and we see just kind of more attacks coming from Folsom as another one comes right here.
Oh, that's a nice ball in toward the half moon, but it's an offside position for the 16, Sadra Joseph, and that'll bring that attack to an end. But a tasty pass. If it had been just a second earlier, real danger.
Definitely, and you see Folsom just starting to hunt it out, trying to get some pressure on the defense, try and catch them in some lacking here, and got to calm it down. Smart passes coming in.
Correa bombs this one forward here, 20 minutes into this second half, 2-0. If you're just joining us from Pleasant Hill, those goals scored in the first half. Marin Rogers in the 14th, Maddie Stroh in the 41st. Responsible for staking the Falcons to this lead. Haven't really done a whole lot of recapping other things going on. We'll give you a quick peek at what the playoff race presently looks like as Folsom Lake, or rather DVC, get ready to author a throw-in. Folsom 5th in the PowerPoint standings right now, behind number 1 Sierra. That's who DVC will visit in Rockland in a few days as a ball comes free here for a moment. Wanted to make sure that you got a good look at it if necessary, but repelled. And now Sierra Rosemont, who is in that back line alongside DeChoco in the absence of Hicks, able to shepherd that one towards Correa. Ball brought down neatly by Callista Rubel. Here's Esquivias. Over to the right side, looking for the run of Sofia Lopez Real. Turns around the shoulder of George. Now loses out to the arrival of Garage. Taken away here by Folsom up the left sideline. Played to the feet of Abril with her back to goal. DeChoco coming up on her. Now a Route 1 ball. Nicely defended by the Vikings. DeChoco floats this toward the center. Stroh unable to hold it, but cleared forward, and now an opportunity to run onto this for the 16, Joseph, who pops it over the top of Correa, but well wide of the goal. Just a moment there where a lack of depth perception briefly made you think number 3 was a foregone conclusion, but nothing to it. Ball out for a Folsom throw. They'll author the substitution, bringing in Hope Northrup again, as well as their captain, Kamaya Yazzie.
I definitely thought that was into. Depth perception is something that kills you when you're on the sideline.
Well, I grew up with a lazy eye myself. I had surgery to fix it when I was like 6, but by that point my brain had just said, don't even listen to what the left eye's saying, and so depth perception can be a bit of a challenge for me every now and again. But glad to hear that's also tough for you from there. That makes me feel better. Here's a cross going over the top of Correa's goal. So we'll return there to our look at the playoff race. DVC sitting at 1.562. That's got you a good 1.7 off the pace. American River closing in on a potential playoff berth, and it could well be 7 of the Big 8 teams making up the 18 in that field. But the Vikings, their big thing is if they can pick up a draw against either of these teams with these vaunted records, and for that matter, against Santa Rosa next Friday, that would be just about as good as a win against anybody else in the formula that's used to calculate playoff participants. So Vikings are going to be in search of something special one of these days. They very nearly did find their way to a goal to make it 2-1 about 10 minutes ago as this one's dropped back and nearly picked off. Dangerous ball off the foot of Ruiz, but DeChoco able to clean it up. Rubel getting stuck in, takes that one away. Esquivias, nice little poke to take it from Abril. Foul whistled, and that's going to go against Folsom. 8th one against them to DVC's 3.
And that's just what I want to see from Kara and Sophia on the wings there. A little bit of aggression, try and get it in, and you see a foul is rewarded there, so just what do you want?
Absolutely. We've given you some bit of a round the horn coverage eventually. I just plumb forgot it because I have a buddy to talk to this time, so I'm not stuck in my own head. So, we'll do a little bit of that as we go along here after having taken a look at the playoff race. Good news for everybody, by the by. Maila Hicks standing at midfield, ready to re-enter the fray, so she seems to be all right.
Definitely, and we see
it's a ball over the top looking for Armstrong. That's going to get over both her and Rodas, but it's going to be Armstrong quickly over to recover it from the right side, puts in a cross on the ground. That gets through about 3 or 4 different people of both persuasions. Here's a shot from Kylie Diome, knocked away by Correa. 10th shot on goal today for Folsom, rather 11th. Jay, you're the stat guy. I got you. 11th for Folsom, knocked away by Correa.
just a great opportunity there from Diome. She's been hunting that goal ever since the second half started, and you're seeing Denise just working hard, keeping it at level.
Yeah, did well to punch that away at the left post as the number 20 from Folsom took aim. Corner kick from the left side. It's the 7th for the Falcons in today's game. Put in low and straight to Correa on a bounce. So no harm, no foul there from that opportunity.
Yeah, DVC clearing out here. 20 minutes left to go in the second half. Trying to keep it level and just got to put some pressure on their defense.
Casey wins the ball, but in trying to bring it forward for Singh, favors the arrival of Northrup. Sliding challenge from Rosemont, punches the ball a good 40 yards. Here's Singh putting pressure on the back line. Nearly took that one away. Thought there might have been a shove as that was conquered by Diome at midfield on Rubel. Here's a ball forward again, looking for Sadra Joseph. Trying to cut her way around Ella DeChoco. Does. Fires. And it is finally 3-0 after a number of opportunities for Folsom Lake. They do add to their tally here. 70th minute, Sadra Joseph recording her second goal of the season.
Yeah, and you see Diome coming in there, you know, getting her 10th assist of the season, if I'm correct. And Joseph's getting her second goal, and just great opportunity on the counterattack off of a goal kick. We usually win our goal kicks, want to win some at least, and, you know, we see that third goal incoming, straight dot back to the right back of the goal.
And we take a look here at the announcement. We'll go ahead and do that over the PA as well.
Goal in minute number 70 for Folsom Lake College. Number 16, Sadra Joseph with her second of the season. Folsom Lake 3, DVC 0.
We just see Suhani coming out from Mahila, just coming at the goal scoring there. Something to note.
Well, certainly with Callista able to occupy that center forward role, DVC do have a little bit of depth in that area as this one's floated to the right side in search of Sofia Lopez Real. Nothing doing. So we will, in that case now, take a little bit of a look around DVC athletics and cross country. Some nice results for them at the Pat Ryan Invitational this past Friday. Alana Sevier, second in the women's 5K, just 11 seconds behind the victor. Victoria Fung and Elena Mendez both top 10 as well. And congratulations to the crowned runners of the meet by the DVC cross country team, Elise Gramond and Joey Anderson on either side for the green and white. Good stuff there for Shelly Pearson's distance runners. Vikings in possession in the attacking zone. Rodas trying to be refed by Rubel, but a little bit long, and Christabel unable to keep it in play. So at this point, down 3-0. I think the order of business is you want to finish strong. You want to finish with something you can build on, because the road trip next or this coming Friday is a real toughie. And I think maybe the thing to look for is you obviously want to be solid, but I think it would do the Vikings a world of good to actually crystallize one of these nice actions and pick up a goal. It's been a little bit. Haven't scored since the game against Modesto back on the Friday before last. Went very close both with Rubel and with Trujillo on either side of halftime, but we'll be looking for something here in the late-going final 17 minutes of this half.
Definitely agree. I mean, just because they scored 3-0 doesn't mean you want to capitalize on one of these actions. You've seen some great actions when they are able to attack, and just keep those going, maybe get one in, and have your heads held high going into the next game.
Lopez Real able to resist the arrival of a defender. Forward now looking for the feet of Diana Ruiz from Ninkovic. Ball comes loose. Forward here. One touch by Lopez Real, but that's going to go all the way to Craighead in goal. Craighead in just her 5th start of the season. Still just giving up the 1 goal on the year in what is now getting close to 370 minutes in goal. Here's a ball forward and a shot absorbed by Denise Correa. Good work by D.
13 shot on goal for the day for Folsom. Goal coming out now.
And I think at the end of the day, again, very similar to the CRC game, the thing that the Vikings coaching staff will be able to take away from this is that we haven't seen any cheapies besides the one odd error that is just, it's bound to happen at least once a season. But beyond that, in terms of build-up, we haven't seen silly errors by the DVC defenders, and we've seen a ton of grit again against a team that, by every measure, is head and shoulders over the quality level of the DVC Vikings, and certainly over the player number. The simple fact that DVC have had to do this really with 12 players.
Definitely. I mean, you know, Coach Mullen sticking with the 12-player rotation for the game, and you know, it's been good battle, good games. Just unfortunate, you know, opportunities for Folsom there.
Exactly. Would have felt very different at 2-1. For a good chunk of that, but that is how the sport works.
Definitely how it goes. And looks like Suhani's going to come in here.
Yep. Yeah, and Olivia Ivy as well, preparing to re-enter for Folsom Lake. So we've seen a decent number of the subs available for Coach Donnie Roboto, although most of them today have been the standard starters getting in their minutes.
Definitely have been, and we see Folsom trying to get an attack here, holding possession, not forcing a pass, and
it's knocked down nicely by Rodas.
Folsom just kind of taking their time now, not needing to rush, just trying to find the right pass and keeping possession now.
Ball here in the center, and it's Diome working it over to the wing. Esquivias able to cut it off and make things difficult here for Destin Armstrong down the right side, and ball's played out for another corner kick. That will be the 8th for Folsom Lake, and in the meanwhile they'll do the substitutions. Singh back in for DVC, Olivia Ivy in for Folsom.
Coach Mullen's giving directions for the defense in the corner. Ball coming in from Kylie Diome on the corner here.
As Diome waiting, it looks like maybe is the short option. I think it's actually going to be the lefty putting this one in over the top of the head of a player at the half moon. And now Suhani Singh getting stuck in, trying to work up the field here for DVC. She'll lose out, though, in the middle third.
Definitely an opportunity here.
Yeah, ball forward there, met with the foot of Takari Abril. That's going to take one bounce off the top of the baseball wall and go off into that field.
Definitely.
Which, I think I hear a few little hits coming from over there, so we've been lucky not to have one of their balls come over to our side. Instead, we're going to pepper them. But no surprise you would see the squad rotation here today. Of course, Folsom Lake have a match coming up with San Joaquin Delta on Friday, and so likely with an eye towards that, wanted to get a little rest for their starters in a game that they felt they would have a bit better of a chance to dominate the run of play in. DVC have proved a decent match for them in terms of making things challenging to create those goal-scoring opportunities, but Folsom have done what good teams do.
Find a way to get them in, get the right passes, and just execute on the goal shots.
The ball over to the left side. Rachel George, who I almost called Regina again, in pursuit, keeps that in play in front of Ninkovic and will now put in a cross that is claimed by Denise Correa. As we said, for DVC, it's going to be, I'll give you a quick, whoop, that's not what I wanted. Where is that thing? I know we got one of these somewhere here. Well, at any rate, I was going to show you the upcoming calendar, but it is Sierra on Friday. DVC will be on the road for their last scheduled road match of the season, and then they'll be back home for a pair of home games next week, Tuesday and Friday, those coming against Sacramento City and then against Santa Rosa Junior College, the team that beat this Folsom club, as the ball's going to scoot through a collision inside the box. Nothing there for Cecilia Chavez, and Denise Correa claims after a couple of collisions.
Yeah, and you see Kylie Guillaume still hunting for that goal. I mean, you're seeing her be aggressive all the way through.
There's a ball taken away by Suhani Singh. She's going to be in a foot race. Craighead comes out of her 18-yard box. Singh ends up on the deck under the challenge of Katie Scherson. Nothing given there. Here comes Folsom up through the center circle. Shows a little bit too much of that to Diana Ruiz, does Maddie Stroh, and that's a lovely ball up ahead here for Trujillo. Singh needs to hold her run. She decides to retreat. Trujillo, near the edge of the 18, sprays it to the right side, looking for Sofia Lopez Real. Nothing doing. Ruiz heads it forward. Singh unable to reach out and get a touch to it, and that will allow Craighead to come out and claim.
Solid opportunity there from the Vikings, trying to get Suhani and Sofia involved on the wing and the forward there, and just unfortunate luck with the draw.
Rosemont, tough challenge against Diome. Ball stays in play. Is Destin Armstrong now at the left side, it would appear, or maybe that's George. 6 and 8 look real similar from this distance. It's now, I believe, Olivia Ivy patrolling the right side. No, correction, it's the 9, Ashley Lesitona, who we're seeing for the first time after another one of Donnie Roboto's shift changes.
At this point in time in the game, 10 minutes left in the ball game, down 3-0, you're staying aggressive, and you just got to let your bodies kind of stay calm, cool, collected, don't make foolish mistakes and foul, and just play strong.
Ball on the foot. The left back at the moment, brought forward. One touch by Ivy, unable to settle. Repelled by DVC, now recovered. I do believe that is Armstrong, both by number and by hairstyle, and she absorbs contact from Ninkovic. Rather, Sofia Lopez Real, who's unhappy with the call. Talking to the referee a little bit about it. Needs to watch out. Remember, Sofia is on a yellow. From an earlier encounter with that very same player. Free kick to come here as we reach the 10 minutes to go mark of this second half. This ball bombed forward. That is looping in the direction of Correa, met with the head, but well high, unable to get on top of that. Was the runner at the far post.
Yeah, and that was Kylie Guillaume again trying to get ahead on that, trying to get a ball in, and good chance. I think the Folsom forwards actually collided on that one.
We got Garaige and Natalie Mack and the shoot, I lost the last one. There's too many numbers. Goodness gracious.
I think that was no.
I saw the 22, I saw the 15. I lost the other one.
I did too.
But three new players in as Casey Trujillo absorbs contact, and it'll be a DVC free kick about 10 yards shy of the midfield stripe. And we'll show you other things going on here in DVC Athletics. Football fell 27-14 in their opener of Big A play. Never mind, we're taking that off the screen because Suhani Singh just got onto a ball. She takes a shot, domesticated by a deflection from Angelina Lopez, who I think might have been the third sub. And that is going to carry to Craighead. A nice-looking opportunity there. A good ball taken down by Suhani on the left side of the box.
Yeah, it was a cross that originally was not in the best spot for Suhani. She made it work off a deflection, had a shot, and just deflected by the defense there.
Ball back in the midfield. Worked forward and in pursuit to Choco, and she'll clear that out into the spectator stands, and we'll tell you about football. Currently 3-3 after losing in their Big 8 opener. Teddy Burris, 2 touchdowns and 175 yards in the losing effort. David Piero flirting with another triple-digit yardage game as the wideout. The thing that really hurt the Vikings was a 3-0 turnover deficit, and DVC closed to within 3 points with 2 minutes left in the third quarter, but CSM finishing with 10 unanswered to give you the final result. They'll be in action on Saturday. That coming up against San Joaquin Delta College at 1 p.m. and preceded by all of the 75th anniversary Diablo Valley College festivities. There's going to be a alumni tailgate going on starting at 11 a.m. and hoping to put in an appearance myself for that. Maila Hicks, meanwhile, is coming off the field again, and Alina Rodriguez is in. So the 13th player we've seen into the action for the green and white. Haven't seen any Hannah Walden just yet, but Hicks apparently got back out there, gave it a go, and the ankle's just still not cooperating.
Yeah, so fortunate to see getting some first action from Alina, some new blood, trying to make a difference, and ball coming back into play here as Folsom is ball going into play.
And this is going to float towards Cristobal Rodas, who steps on it, tries to move this to the left side to Trujillo. Floated towards Ruiz, who's now going to flick it over the top of the Folsom player. Trujillo trying with one touch to feed Rodriguez up top in her first action. It's been a little bit since we've seen Alina able to suit up. And here's another ball taken away out of the midfield by Suhani Singh. Pushes us forward, trying to find some space. Can't hold on to it, but Casey Trujillo will clean it up over to the left side. Now pinged away. Bit of English on that. Ruiz will come over to get it. Shepherded out by the 11 Yazzie. Viking throw to come. We'll continue our trip around the horn. Water polo. DVC women picked up a pair of victories in Novato by an 18-6 and 15-7 score line over the hosts Marin and Las Positas College. And that's wins number 2 and 3 on the season for Trisha Kwan's women. The men, on the other hand, went down to San Luis Obispo on the heels of an 18-17 victory over San Joaquin Delta. They did drop 3 of 4 against the SoCal schools, but they pick up win number 8 against Chaffee down in San Luis Obispo. And those two teams are going to be in action tomorrow afternoon at the pool, and it's going to be the first live stream here on DVC Vikings Live of water polo. And I'm going to be on the call there with a special guest. I'll give you a hint and you can put the pieces together, but it's an art history professor that actually used to play and still does coach water polo. And she's going to join me on here, and I'm going to try to, Invasion of the Body Snatchers style, just try to turn every faculty member here at DVC into a sportscaster one at a time. And this is where that plan starts. It's a ball long looped forward in the direction of Alina Rodriguez after the clearance. Brought down by Diome. But very much looking forward to that.
Definitely, and we just saw Sophia come off and Mahila's come off, and looks like Vikings look on to the next game as Folsom is still trying very much to get another goal in here.
Yeah, it'll be certainly an encouraging thing for DVC if they can resist that that urge. But you know, for a team with title ambitions yet again, defending a state championship, you want to make sure you've got all cylinders firing. We've talked today about the injury issues the Vikings have had. You never know who's going to come up big down the stretch of the season. You may end up with some unexpected names. We saw today they had to deal without their leading scorer from the past 2 years, Taya Reyes, and have managed to stitch it together. With some good performances, particularly by the first-time starter, Marin Rogers.
Definitely.
Over the right side here, as it's going to be claimed by the 15, Natalie Mack, her first touch of the game, I believe. Her cross in, headed away by DeChoco, and now firmly cleared by Rodas, only as far as about 35 yards from goal. Back on the foot of Mack. Drop back now into the defense. It's the 21, Shurson. Up ahead, Diome trying to get turned, looking for that shot again, and is going to have it go just wide past a diving Denise Correa. I don't think she got a touch to it. It's going to be a goal kick, but Diome continuing the hunt.
Definitely. I mean, she had a good shot there, good chances. She's been hunting for that all day, and, you know, if not today, it'll come soon. She's hungry for it. Ball taken out.
Inside the final 5 minutes here as Ninkovic claims it at the back. Ball forward here by Rosemont. Not able to handle it cleanly as the Folsom Lake midfielder out there. It'll be Carol Esquivias to grab it and flip it to Ninkovic for a throw. Ball dropped back and cleared by DeChoco. Only as far as the midfield stripe. Out wide here to Natalie Mack. She looks to take on Rodas and now looks to slip one of her teammates. Cross from the left side, just over the head of Olivia Ivy. Good work by Mila Ninkovic to shepherd that over the line after Hope Northrup put in a nice cross there. Interesting positioning there for the sophomore defender, currently now playing it would appear right wing. We used to have a word for this when you were in the late parts of a game that was pretty well decided. I used to be early in my career of following around athletics teams because I wasn't athletic enough to be on a member of them. Used to be the manager of my high school's lacrosse team, and I remember that they used to say, you know, if we get up big enough, then we can start doing stupid stick tricks, and that was what it was. Like just playing defenders up in the attack, letting a goalkeeper be a long stick midi, just crazy stuff. So. Yeah, it was always a good time seeing maybe a little bit of that or just trying out new wrinkles with an eye towards late parts of playoff games perhaps. What other qualities might you have in a Hope Northrup?
Something that comes to mind is I think it was my first year, maybe second year here. We had a defender by the name of A, and we were trying to get her that goal.
Oh my goodness, that was one of my favorite days of the season. The really maybe of the entire time I've been at DVC. Honestly, it ranks way up there. Yeah, as A Wingate, as that one goes wide of Denise Correa, and the clocks have come to a stop here at Vikings Field. Just about done with action here today on a Tuesday afternoon.
I unfortunately missed my time. I was talking about that story, but
Oh, yeah.
we're good.
It's all good. We're enjoying ourselves, and you know how to fix that on the scoreboard, so we're
Yes.
all good.
Yes.
Ball over here to the right side. It is Northrop.
Oh.
Hitting the brakes and letting a defender fly by, but Rodas able to close up. Ball knocked away, and it's out here for, see a flag up. Looks like offside, perhaps? Or a foul? I can't tell because the entire Folsom Lake team is up inside their tent, or outside their tent, in front of their tent, and it's very hard to make out exactly what's going on the right wing. Oftentimes I'm looking at our monitor, which is about 2 seconds behind, and taking a guess. Anyway, ball on the foot right now with a 15. That is Natalie Mack, brought forward and cleared by DVC.
I can feel you when it happened. Ella did a little bit of hands to the body there.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah, but that's why the Folsom bench reacted like that. But no foul, and ball now back to the Folsom defense.
Yeah, Lena Rodriguez trying to work her way through two players, but a bit isolated there. Fresh legs, which is a tough thing to say about really anybody else for the Vikings at this point, as we are in the final minutes of a match in which they have, by and large, played with just 12 players against the number 5 team in NorCal. And all told, 3-0 on the basis of that, making them earn at least 2 of those goals. You can't feel too bad about the day's work, even if you are still in search of a result to break what has been a rather lengthy winless streak, rather. In search of another, it's Grace Pratt on the left side. Sliding challenge, won't get the ball. Here's Carol Esquivias in pursuit towards the corner flag. Ball floated towards the edge of the 18. And that is going to be all she wrote. Cecilia Chavez brings it to a close here at DVC. And my apologies, we don't have every single goal up there on the screen. We're going to fix that up, and then we're going to go ahead and tell the assembled masses about it and about what else is coming up in DVC Vikings athletics.
That'll do it for today's action, Vikings fans. Your final score, Folsom Lake 3, DVC 0. Goals in the 14th minute by Marin Rogers, in the 41st by Maddie Stroh, and in the 70th by Sadra Joseph. The Vikings are next in action at Sierra College on Friday. You can listen to live radio coverage of that match on the DVC Athletics YouTube page. The next home date for the Green and White, Tuesday, October 29th. In that game, the Vikings will welcome Sacramento City College for a 3:30 p.m. kickoff. That match and all DVC home soccer matches are video streamed on the DVC Athletics YouTube channel. Elsewhere in DVC Athletics, volleyball hosts Delta tonight at 6 p.m. at the gym, while water polo hosts Santa Rosa tomorrow for a 3:30 p.m. start women's-men's doubleheader, also streamed on DVC Vikings Live. Thursday, men's hoops kicks off their 24-25 campaign on the road at Napa Valley. Friday, men's water polo hosts Cabrillo for a one-off, while volleyball joins soccer up the road in the capital when they visit Sacramento City. Lastly, the DVC 75th anniversary celebrations are in full force this weekend as we host an alumni tailgate and athletics complex ribbon cutting at 11 a.m. prior to football's 1 p.m. kickoff against San Joaquin Delta. To keep up with all of it, point your browser to dvcvikings.com, your source for all things green and white. Thank you for your support today and always of DVC Women's Soccer. We hope to see you again next time, and we wish you safe travels home today. Thank you.
All right, so those duties taken care of here, and apologies for the delays as I went searching for graphics here and struggled to find them here on the live stream. Folks at the field, I imagine, wondering what the heck was up with those delays, but we'll let them assume whatever they want to. Jay, pleasure to have you here for a second game running. Your final takeaways, what did you think of what you saw here of the green and white against one of the best teams in California?
Yeah, I mean, they held up well, despite the loss. I think saw some good things to take on to the next game this Friday. Some things to improve on for sure, especially that midfield and clean up those passes, trying to look for second options potentially. And but I think overall good things, and hopefully break this winless streak this Friday. We'll see what happens.
And we will see here, as we said, the winless streak stretching back to when DVC was 3-0 to start the season. It's now been 11 games since they've tasted the sweet nectar of victory, and 3 full games since they've managed to score a goal. It only gets harder as they face off with Sierra. Hopefully another proud performance up there. Maybe get yourself a 0 draw or a 1-1 draw, something nice out of that. And then turn your full attention to getting healthy on the offensive end yet again with any luck when they take on Sacramento City a week from today. We hope to see you in the comments section for both of those broadcasts. Again, radio on Friday and video here on Tuesday, we believe, with another special guest co-commentator. Won't spoil that just yet, since I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be Tuesday, Friday, or both. But either way, looking forward to having you in attendance here, either in Pleasant Hill or on DVC Vikings Live. For Jay Gima, this is Joe Hickey wishing you dreams of green. Till next time, so long.